If you're thinking about buying a new electric golf trolley for 2025, there are tons of different options available. So in this video, I'm going to run through each of the models currently available for Powakaddy, Motocaddy, Stewart Golf, and MGI. If you do decide you want to buy one, then feel free to use my affiliate links, which I've included down in the description of this video. Now, for most of these trolleys, you can pay for additional upgrades like a larger battery or downhill control, so it will stop the trolley from running away from you when you're going downhill. However, for this video, I've used just the base models of each of these trolleys, not including any of those upgrades, unless that's included in the base model price. So starting with Powakaddy and their entry-level model, that's the FX1. Now, this retails here in the UK for £549.99. This isn't a compact model, so it does fold down in half, but the top wheel doesn't fold in on itself, so it's the more larger design that Powakaddy have, and there's no screen showing any information on this trolley. There's no anti-tip wheel at the rear to help it stop falling over when you're going up significant slopes, although it does include a USB-C charging port, and it has maglock, which means that it is compatible with Powakaddy's magnetic bag system at the bottom. But if you don't have a Powakaddy bag, then any bag will work on this really, because it uses the elastic fasteners at the top and the bottom. Now, I have done a full review of this trolley, so I'll include a link right there. Next in the Powakaddy range is the FX3. Now, this retails in the UK for £629.99. Now, it takes the FX1 model and adds a 2.3-inch screen. Now, this isn't a touch screen, it purely just shows you the speed setting of the trolley, the time, the life of the battery, as well as a few other little bits of limited information. This trolley also adds a distance control feature. So you press and hold the button down in the middle, and then you can choose whether you want to set your trolley to go off and then stop automatically after, I think it's 15, 30, and 45 yards. Next up is the Powakaddy FX5, and that retails for £679.99, and it has all the features of the FX3 and then adds a larger display. I think it's 2.8 inches and it's a widescreen display, but that's about all you're getting in terms of the upgrades compared to the previous model. So next up in price is the Powakaddy CT6. Now, this retails in the UK for £799.99, and in the US I found a price of $1,299.99. Now, this model is taking what you get with the FX5, but then putting it in a much more compact design. So the actual front wheel folds down on itself, meaning you've got a much smaller footprint on this when it's folded down. So if space is a premium for you, then you want to be considering the CT range instead of the FX. Next, you have the Powakaddy CT6 GPS. You can probably guess what that's adding to the CT6, and that retails here in the UK for £949.99, and you are getting the addition of a built-in GPS unit with the trolley. So with this one, you are now getting a touchscreen LCD, and you have got the GPS built into the unit. Now, the GPS is pretty straightforward, it's not the most in-depth, but you're going to get yardages to the front, middle and back of the green and hazards and things like that. Next up, you've got the CT8 GPS, and that retails in the UK for £999.99, and you are now adding a larger touchscreen display. So this one is now at 3.5 inches, and it also has a faster processor in the unit, so it should mean that connecting to the GPS signal should be quicker, and the general snappiness of the menu and such will also be faster. You now also have the ability to record your scores and some various shot tracking data on that unit on the trolley too. Next up is the Powakaddy CT10 GPS, and that retails for £1,029.99. So for this one, the screen is now in a portrait mode, allowing you to view the whole layout on the GPS rather than just the green view. Next up is the Powakaddy RX Remote. So this retails for £1,099.99 or $2,199.95. So for this one, we're now going back to the previous FX design. So it's not the most compact design. It's the one where the front wheel doesn't fold underneath when you fold it down, but you are now adding a remote control. So you can either push the trolley as normal or use the small remote to direct it where you want to go. This trolley is also now coming with a 36-hole battery. All of the previous ones were coming with an 18-hole battery as standard, so now we've got a larger battery life on this one. With the Powakaddy Trolleys, when you get a remote control, then you also get the downhill control functionality included, so those trolleys shouldn't run away from you when going downhill. Now, there's no display screen on this model, so this is very much still based on the basic entry-level FX1, but with that larger battery and the remote control. But because it is a remote control model, you are also getting an anti-tip wheel at the back to help it stabilize when it's going up significant slopes. Next up in price is the CT12 GPS. Now this retails for £1,299.99. So this is the same as the CT10 GPS, but it's now adding a larger 5-inch portrait screen, and you have the ability to see notifications from your phone on that screen as well. So phone calls, text messages and WhatsApp messages. You've then got the RX10 remote control. So this is the same as the CT10 GPS, except now you are also adding the larger 36-hole battery and the remote control. So with that, you are also then getting the anti-tip wheel on the rear. And then lastly, in the Powakaddy lineup, their most premium trolley is the RX12 remote. So, as you've probably already guessed, this is the same as the CT12 GPS trolley, but then you are getting the remote control, the larger battery, and the anti-tip wheel at the rear. So now moving on to Motocaddy, we're going to start at their entry-level unit and work our way up in price. So first of all, we've got the Motocaddy SE. Now this retails here in the UK for £499.99. Now, similar to the FX1 with Powakaddy, this isn't a compact design. So yes, it folds down on itself with a kind of 2-folding mechanism, but the front wheel doesn't fold in. So it's quite a long design when it's folded down. The SE also doesn't have a screen. It has LEDs on the front of it, indicating whether the unit is powered on or not, and how much battery life is left on the trolley. There's no anti-tip wheel at the rear. The materials and the design is very kind of minimalistic compared to the rest of the Motocaddy lineup. It does have a USB-A charging port if you want to charge your phone or GPS, and all of the Motocaddy bags, including this one, are what they call Easy Lock compatible. So if you've got a Motocaddy bag, that will fit in nicely and you don't need to use the additional elasticated bungee cords around the bottom. You just need the ones at the top. If you haven't got an Easy Lock bag, then that doesn't matter. You can pretty much use any bag with these because of the 2 bungees at the top and the bottom. So next up is the Motocaddy S1. This retails in the UK for £679.99. Now this still isn't a compact model. It folds down on top of itself, but that front wheel still doesn't tuck in, but it's slightly more premium compared to the SE model. It has a small screen on the trolley, so it will show you the speed setting as well as the remaining battery life. Now it doesn't have an anti-tip wheel at the rear, but what it does have is the auto battery disconnect design. So that means when you fold down the trolley, the battery will automatically disconnect, a little thing pops up, so it means that you're not unnecessarily wasting your battery life when you forget to turn it off. When you fold it down, you just know that that's all sorted automatically. Lastly, it also has the distance control feature, so you hold down the button in the middle and then again you can set the trolley to travel 15, 30 or 45 yards and then stop automatically. So next up is the Motocaddy M1. So this is the same as the S1 trolley, except now Motocaddy are using their more compact design. So this is effectively the equivalent of the Powakaddy CT range. So it folds down on top of itself as well as that front wheel folding underneath itself, making it nice and compact. You still have the same small screen showing you the speed setting and your battery life. It's still missing any kind of anti-tip wheel at the rear. It has that battery auto disconnect feature and it has the distance control functionality. Now next up is the M3 GPS. So this retails for £929.99 and it has the same functionality as the M1, except that it's adding a larger 2.8-inch touchscreen display, and the trolley also has basic GPS functionality, so it will show you the layout to the front, middle and back of the green, to various hazards, and I think it'll also show you the rough green shape as well. Next up is the M5 GPS. So this is retailing for £979.99. So this is taking all the functionality of the M3, and then on top of that, you are getting a larger 3.5-inch touchscreen display, and you're also getting smartphone notifications from your phone onto the screen of the trolley. You have the ability to track score and performance data from your round, and it also includes a feature unique to Motocaddies where it can provide you with the location of the nearest defibrillator, as well as give you CPR instructions on the little screen in case the worst happens for you or one of your friends out on the course. It gives you that extra information there. Next up is the ME remote, and it retails for £1,049.99. And this is now their basic entry-level remote control trolley. So you're getting that remote control, so you can easily control it around, forwards, backwards, left, right, all that kind of stuff. Now, because it's a remote control, you're also getting the downhill control assist, so the trolley shouldn't run away from you when going downhill. And you're also getting an anti-tip wheel at the rear of the trolley as well. However, with the ME remote, much like the entry-level Powakaddy, you're not getting any kind of screen on this trolley. It's an entry-level remote control trolley. Next up is the Motocaddy M7 remote, and this retails in the UK for £1,249.99. So with this trolley, you're now getting the same features as the ME remote, plus you're now getting a small screen displaying the speed setting of the trolley and your battery life. So next up is the Motocaddy M Tech, and this retails for £1,399.99. So for this one, you're getting the same as the M5 GPS trolley that we spoke about a little while ago, but you're now getting more premium materials. So you're getting leather grips, and there's polished chrome used on the trolley as well. And lastly, in the Motocaddy range, you have got the M7 remote GPS. So that retails for £1,449.99. And in this one, you're getting the same trolley as the M7 remote, plus you're also now getting a 3.5-inch touchscreen GPS. You have the ability to receive the smartphone notifications. You can track your score and your performance stats while you're out on the course, and you're getting the defibrillator location and the CPR instructions if needed. So now let's take a look at the MGI range of trolleys. So starting off with their most basic model, and that is the Zip X1. And that retails here in the UK for $599, and in the US I found a price of $699. Now interestingly, even though this is the base model trolley, you are getting a little bit more in terms of features compared to the base models of the Powakaddies and the Motocaddies. So with the X1, you are getting a more compact design. So that front wheel is folding underneath itself, as well as the rest folding on top of itself. It comes with an 18-hole battery, and you are also getting anti-tip wheels included at the rear as standard. You're also getting the USB charging, pretty much like every other trolley we've talked about in this video. And it also comes with a screen showing you your speed setting and the level of battery life you've got left, albeit that screen does look very basic from the pictures that I could find. Next up is the Zip X3. That retails here in the UK for £699 or $899. Now that's taking the X1 design and it's adding the distance control feature where you hold down a button and then it will go a set yardage before stopping. It's also adding distance tracking as well, so you can see the distance of your previous shot. And it's also changed the design a little bit because it's now got a pivoting front wheel. Now that's similar to a lot of the remote trolleys that we've seen from Powakaddy as well as Motocaddy. It's interesting that MGI have decided to go with that pivoting front wheel quite early on in their range. And then lastly, it does have a slightly upgraded screen compared to the X1. So next up is the Zip X5, and that retails in the UK for £799, or in the US I found it for $1,099. Now this takes the same functionality as the Zip X3, and then it adds downhill control as standard. Now you've probably noticed at this point that the MGI range is considerably cheaper, and it appears to be offering you more features for your money compared to the Powakaddy or the Motocaddy ranges. Now, I haven't used MGI stuff too much, but I have got one of these trolleys on order because I do want to test all three head to head. So if you were interested in that video, then make sure you subscribe to this channel and tap that notifications bell so you can get updated when I post my latest videos. So next up, we've got the MGI 500. So this retails in the UK for £1,199 or £1,449 in the US. Although at the time of recording this video, I saw a pretty good deal on the MGI website where it is retailing for just under $1,000 US. So this trolley is taking the X5 design and then is now adding a 4-inch touchscreen display, which includes GPS functionality. And it's also adding a larger 36-hole battery as standard. Next up is the Zip Navigator. So this retails in the UK for £1,299.99, or in the US I found it for $1,599. So this trolley seems to be pretty much the same as the X5 in terms of functionality, but is now adding the remote control feature. You are also getting a 36-hole battery with this one as standard, but no, it is not adding GPS. And then this is closely followed by the Zip Navigator All-Terrain, or AT for short. This retails in the UK for £1,279.99, and I found it in the US for $1,699. Now this is the same as the Zip Navigator, but it's adding a more luxurious feeling design. I think they've called it the monochrome design. And then lastly, in the MGI range, you have got the AI Navigator Plus. So this retails in the US for $2,099. I can't actually find it for sale here in the UK, funnily enough. But with this one, this is taking the AI 500 design and then is adding a remote control and is also adding the 36-hole battery as standard. So if you want an MGI with GPS and remote control, this is the one that you want to go for. Just before we get to the final range of trolleys, if you are finding this video helpful, please tap the like and subscribe buttons. And if you're the type of golfer that likes to make the most of your money and find the best deals, then please make sure you sign up to my free monthly golf deals newsletter. I'll include the link down in the description below, where I handpick the best and cheapest deals that I find every month and share them with you all. So next up, we're going to look at the Stewart Golf range. So these are a little bit more unique compared to the rest of the trolleys shown, and Stewart Golf assemble their trolleys here in Great Britain. So we're going to start with their entry-level model, and that is known as the V10. So this retails in the UK for £999, and that's the 18-hole model, or in the US it starts at $1,749, but note that's actually for the 36-hole model. I couldn't find that the 18-hole model was currently for sale. So with the V10 you are getting a remote control trolley, and it folds down flat, but I wouldn't call it a compact design. It can only sit flat down. It's not designed to sit upright, and there's no carry handles or anything like this, so it has quite a large base on it. Now, although it doesn't have any anti-tip wheels, there is an anti-tip bump incorporated at the rear of the design, and all these trolleys in the Stewart range have their version of downhill control and stability included as standard. Now, one other thing to note with all of the V10 trolleys is that they don't include any type of screen. That's just not how their design works. Next up is the Stewart Vertex, and this retails in the UK for £1,349, and that's for the entry-level 18-hole model. Now, I've put a little asterisk on the side of that because Stewart Golf are starting to transition away from saying whether a battery is 18 or 36 or even 45 holes, and instead of just quoting the watt hours of the battery. So I think this one off the top of my head is 230 watt hours. And the reason for that is because Stewart Golf say an entry level battery like the 230 watt hour one can last for significantly longer rather than just 18 holes, depending upon the conditions and the severity of the slopes and how long you take to play and all those kind of things. With that being said, I think for the purposes of this video, it's easier just to consider it an 18-hole battery. Now, with this trolley, you are getting a much more compact design compared to the V10. So the front wheels do fold in, and the trolley is designed to actually stand upright and be stored that way. There's also an integrated carry handle, which the V10 doesn't have. The Vertex also has anti-tip wheels at the rear of the trolley, as well as the included downhill control functionality. but no, there is still no screen or anything like that. So next up is the Stewart X10 Follow. So this retails in the UK for £1,699, and this uses the same kind of base design as the V10 remote, but now you are getting a very unique follow functionality. So you clip the remote on the back of your shorts or your trousers, and then the trolley will literally follow you around the course. Now this trolley has a 36-hole battery included. If you don't want to use the follow, you can just use the remote as a normal remote trolley. But again, because it's based on the V10, there are still no anti-tip wheels at the rear, and it still has that larger, wider base design. So next up is the Stewart Q Follow. That retails in the UK for £1,749 for the 18-hole version. And in the US, you can buy a 36-hole version for £3,249. Now you've probably already guessed, but this is the same base design as the Vertex, but now you are getting that follow functionality as well as being able to control it with the remote control. And lastly, we've got the Stewart Q Follow Carbon range. So this retails in the UK for £2,249, or in the US for $3,749. So with this, you are getting the same as the Q Follow, but you're getting a carbon fiber design on all of that bodywork, and you're also getting a 36-hole battery included as standard. So I really hope this video has helped you figure out which trolley is right for you. If it has, then please make sure you tap that like button. Now, if you really want to help out the channel, then please let me know down in the comments what trolley you're thinking of buying, or maybe what reviews you'd want to see. I have reviewed some of these trolleys, but there's over 30 included in this video, so it would be really good to get some insight as to the reviews that you really want to see and what information you want to know. As I said, I am working on a comparison of the entry-level compact trolleys that you can currently buy from these companies. So once I've got it ready, I'll include a link to that video right here, and I'll include some links to some of my other reviews that I've done of the trolleys that I've mentioned in this video right here.